What's up, Brian Tong here, and welcome to another juicy episode of the Apple Bite for everything good and bad inside the world of Apple. And let's get to it. And you know what? We start off with the iPhone and Donald Trump. Yes, you heard me right. So we're not going to get all political here, but the Donald recently made a promise that in order to make America great again, he would get Apple to start manufacturing its products in the US instead of China. Now, according to the New York Times, a Foxconn employee gets paid roughly $400 a month. Now, if you assume Apple could manufacture the phone in Wyoming or Georgia, which have the lowest minimum wage at $5.15 an hour, that U.S. worker would make more than double at $824 a month. So, all right, after, let's say, shipping, marketing, and research and development, you're talking about an iPhone that currently costs around $650 will now cost around $1,300 at the minimum. And you know what? I'm all for jobs here, but the number one way to scare away voters is to tell them their iPhone is going to cost them 2 to 3 times more. I'm just saying. All right, we showed you the iOS 9.3 beta last show, but Apple's iOS 9.2.1 update dropped this week, and it's a must-have for security updates. But even better, it appears to have given older iPhones like the iPhone 4S and 5 a speed boost. Now, this clip comes from a YouTube channel that ripped off the name of our show and put an I in front of it, but I'll still give them credit because no one watches them. Now, Apple has typically ignored older phones, and past iOS updates have made them slower and laggier. But today is not that day, and it's worth the update if you have an earlier iPhone. All right, new music apps have been released from Apple, including a really cool one called Music Memos that lets you make quick recordings with instruments or your voice. Seeing as Dan Ackerman shows us what it could do.
Apple has a brand new app called Music Memos, and it's sort of a voice recorder memo app, but for musicians. So it wants you to play your guitar, play your piano, maybe sing along. It's going to record what you do in a very simple memo format. After you're done recording, it takes that audio recording and tries to figure out what chords you played, puts down the bars, the tempo that you played, and even lets you add some basic bass and drums based on the chords and the timing, and gives you a nice little demo package that you can then either play around with in this app or export. It's got a tuner built in first, so if you want to tune up, you can do that. And it seems to work best if you do big ringing open chords, basic 4/4 time, kind of like this. I can play it back and follow along with it. And if I add the drums and the bass based on the chords, and then I can go in after I'm done trimming it, and I can edit the actual chords. And then when you want to do something more of the song, you can take it and export it into GarageBand or Logic, or just send this audio file to someone by email, post it to YouTube, whatever you want. It's a free app for iOS, and that is Music Memos by Apple.
Thanks for that. That's some really cool stuff, Dan. And also, GarageBand gets an update with new loops tools and a smarter drummer feature, so check them both out. Plus, I've got to give props to Apple Music that now has over 10 million subscribers after just 6 months, according to the Financial Times. I honestly did not expect that. See, it took Spotify around 6 years to accomplish that same goal, and yes, the times were different when music streaming was just starting out, but that's just flat out impressive. So there you go, plenty of great news in the music space, but guess what? There's also bad news, especially when Apple announced they would be ending their ad-supported iTunes radio feature at the end of January. Look, I use it all the time. It's free. Think of it as their Pandora-like service, and the only way you can use it now is if you're a paying Apple Music subscriber, which I am not, and their Beats One channel will now be the only free music option moving forward for iTunes users. Are you kidding me? Apple, you're sitting on $200 billion, and you're taking away a service we actually listen to for your Beat One's radio station that people barely listen to. You know what that is, everybody? That's a bad apple. I told you it's bad. All right, we all know Apple has its eyes set on the smart automobile. Mac Rumors recently discovered that Apple registered a trio of top-level domain names, including apple.car, apple.cars, and apple.auto back in December. None of these domains are currently active. Now, Apple's been very active with their CarPlay platform as well, and released a list of over 100 compatible cars on their own website. Rumors still say the Big A's Project Titan car will be ready sometime around 2020, so we're still not anywhere close. But I always look at other projects they've done as points of inspiration for others. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be the first Apple car. And look, there goes that Apple car again. Yes, I know I bag on them constantly about that battery case, but it's literally that bad. You know that the execs were in a room talking about how crappy looking of a product they could make and still convince Apple loyalists to buy it. They had to be asking, how far can we push them? Well, I think they found how low that bar goes, and it's the iPhone battery case. All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. You can email us at theapplebite@cnet.com or tweet me at Brian Tong, and I'll answer them after I'm done dehydrating my homemade beef jerky. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all next time for another bite of the apple.